Hello, this is Mary from Rivers Bend Sanctuary, and tonight we're going to talk about cord cutting. What cord cutting means, what it entails, and really how it affects people. And the thing about cord cutting is, if you look at the spiritual field, you've got people all over saying, oh, you got to cut all these cords, and the cords are bad. Why? Is there anything that are people actually explaining the situation to the cords? So I really wanted to dig a little deep and explain to you, what a cord is. And this is all of guys, this is what I feel. This is what I've experienced. So what cords are, energetic cords, how they affect us, how they are, what a cord cutting is, and, what the outcome is really. And the thing is, there are so many different experiences out there to know that everything isn't the same. So my experiences don't equate to yours. Now, it's just what I have been across, what I've seen in my experiences. I've been doing this for, with other people, I've been only doing this for about 7 years. Now, as for experience, it's been, I'm 41. It's been since I was a kid. So really it's, you take what you learn, whatever makes sense to you, take it, and the rest you let go. So the thing about cords now is we create cords with so many people. So automatically a cord is created when a woman, a mother, gives birth to a child. There is that cord. It's like the umbilical cord. And what we'll notice for most people actually is that cord is still in the umbilical, area. Even as an adult, you have that with your mother. So there is one. A lot of times you also have a cord that are between people that you've had some very strong connections with, whether that's a significant other, a sibling, and honestly, even like, an abuser, different things where there's that energy transference that you're around a lot. So the people that you depend on, even pets, there are cords that go to your pets even. So if you look at energetic cords, so one, maybe you take it back a few steps. So when you're talking about energy and spiritual work, really, all we're doing is tracing energy. And energy can be anything. Energy can be whether you're gaslighting somebody, whether you have this true love, whether it's abuse, whether it's whatever it is. It's all energy. We're all following the lines of energy. Kind of like you think about how radio waves work, how they go out. And they are, of course, just boof, boof, to come out. Energy lines are not like that. They don't follow a specific path, but it's still, you're following that frequency. So you're taking that frequency. If you find that, if you can connect in with that, that is what all healing is about, is all following those energy wavelengths so that you can go and figure out what is going on and heal that. And when we're talking about energy cords, it is truly like this radio wave, but it's this frequency. It's this energy cord that connects wherever. It can be all over you. I could say it connects right here. You have this energy cord that goes from you to this other person. And the thing about it is, it may seem beautiful, especially when you're new in a relationship and, say with your husband or wife or significant other, you're like, oh, I love this because we can read each other's minds and we know how we're feeling and, all of this because we're so connected. We're one. Yes, you can be that way and still not have an energy cord. Just like you have an energy cord between, say, you and your sibling, you and your mother, you and your pet, you and your best friend. And people need to understand the difference between being an empath and having an energy cord. So with being an empath, you walk in and you know how people are feeling. But you got to understand is a big way to tell the difference is it somebody you know or is it, somebody you don't know? So if you walk into a room and you're like, okay, I've never seen this person before in my life, but I right now know they are hurt. They're pissed off, they're hurt, they're acting like a bitch or ass or whatever, but it's actually that they're really hurt. but you've never met them before. That's being an empath. Now, if you walk in and your mom's back is turned to you and it looks like everything's great, and yet oh shit, something is not right here. That is because you have a cord, that energetic cord. You can read very easily. So it's a fine line, and sometimes it's hard to tell which is which. But when you're doing any energy work and you really feel like, especially when you're talking about like relationships, if you have disconnected and you're not with this person anymore, but yet you still feel this like hold on this person, or they have a hold on you, then it's time to look to see if there's an energy, if there's an energy cord there that needs to be worked on. So it's a fine line to figure out, but you should question yourself, are you being empathetic, or is there actually an energy cord here that needs to be worked on? And the thing is as much as beautiful as energy cords can be for understanding somebody and having this direct connect, it's not healthy. Energy cords are not healthy. You can have this connection with people without having this direct link. Think about our auras, our energies. So we have all these different layers that come out of our energy, right? And we can meld those, and we do every day. When we're meeting friends or even new people or people we love, when we go and hug or we're reaching out, our auras do actually meld. They become like intertwined. And we can read each other very easily right then. Right? So that's there. It doesn't mean that you have to have this direct connect. So we still have that. And that's one thing you really have to understand and believe, is that, because some people get like freaked out, especially if it's with a spouse or a significant other, like, no, I am not going to cut this cord. Oh my God, I don't want to lose this because it hurts. And you can actually feel it in your heart, like, oh my God, this friggin' hurts. No, I'm not doing it. The thing is, you have to realize you don't need that to do it. Because what happens is, so we have our energy bodies, right? Which we can meld with, intertwine when we want. But we also, it's a safe space. It's our shell too. This is something that, it's like our feelers that go out. We have to be in control of that. We should be able to block it off if we need to, want to, right? If we have this direct energy cord, then there's, there's trauma going into your energy field because it's not natural. And two, you can't cut it off because it's like a highway. It goes both ways. Now, sometimes it can be much more in one direction if you're talking about somebody who's narcissistic or, there's some icky cords that can happen there, or someone who's more needy or what have you. Well, it goes both ways, but it doesn't have to be equal. So you look at it that way. And even those that are equal, it's still not healthy. You don't need that. You can support each other without having that direct connect because it affects your energy field. So you disconnect and have that. But a lot of times though, it is more one way than the other way. And it can even get a little gooey. So cords are funky. So how the energy works. Now, all I can say is I hope you do understand that these cords are not healthy. No matter if it's with your mom, your dad, your significant other, they're not healthy. You can have it without the cord. It can cause you, think about how many times that you're feeling like really crappy, right? You're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on, but I don't feel good at all. I feel depressed. I feel deflated or what have you. And you don't know why. You can't pinpoint why. Well, look at those that you're really close to, whether it's your significant other, your mother, your father, friend, whatever, pet even. Are they having a hard time? Is there something going on there? And the thing is, you may be like, oh, but I love being able to tell when people I love are hurt, or when they're happy or when whatever. Yeah, but you can do that without the cord. Again, you can do it without the cord. So you can connect in without it. Like I said, you should be the one to decide whether you want to open up and feel everyone else or those that you care about versus when you don't. Because you're number one. You have to be able to control your own energy, your own self. So what a cord feels like. Now, they can be so many different things. So if you've watched any of my prior videos, a cord can feel anything. I've had steel piping, I've had cloudish type stuff, I have had the sluggish, ickiest, like doesn't even like tarish. It's so there's difference. There's what's connecting in. I've had a lot of tree trunks, that kind of stuff. Tree trunks, steel. I had beautiful cloudish, like strings and beautiful movements that, but I've had icky stuff. I've seen where it's very sluggish on one side. So one person's really pulling the energy from the other person, and the other person's like cut it off basically, but it's very sluggish. So it's like pulling, but it's actually causing this other person to who has this cord that I'm trying to cut. Most of the time this happens is that they are getting drained because the person who is pulling their energy is pulling so much more than they're giving. It's not it's not balanced. And the thing about these cords is they're pretty easy to actually find. So if you, and again, I got another video on this too, if you do the energy, the aura sweeps, you can feel these different things, the energies, around. If you close your eyes, feel the aura of whomever you're checking. And you can do this on yourself too, is, where is this energy cord? Where is the difference? You can feel heat, cold, tingly, like energy. Like, it always reminds me of, now I'm old, I'm 41 right now. So where back in the day when there wasn't a network on television and it had the fuzzies on the television, that black and white fuzzies, pixelated stuff, I feel that. And that's what it reminds me of when I close my eyes and I feel it almost as like being, electrocuted slightly or whatever, static electricity. And that's what it reminds me of. So that's a very common letting you know that there's, pain or there's trauma or intrusion or something in the aura field when you find that. And if you really go deeper in, close your eyes and just let yourself feel what that energy is, a lot of times you'll be able to tell, okay, well, this is a cord. This is a piece of wood, this is whatever. And that's really how you feel for it. And then you really think about, okay, does this feel like it's an equal equal resonance of what's going on? What does it look like? But it's a cord. So how do you cut it? That's another thing. And this is going to take a little while, so I apologize for the longer video. So there are many ways to work with a cord to be able to cut it. And thing with cords are they can be very difficult when you find them. I've had clients where, oh my gosh, this is, a lot of times this is a cord with, your husband, your wife. And they're like, I don't know. Or you can have a cord that, oh my gosh, this is not a good cord. This is must be an ex or something, but there's some control here. And they're like, oh my God, get that friggin' off me, right? Then you have like, oh, this is a cord with your mother. Oh my God, this is beautiful. But, might want to, you got to have separate at some point. You can have it with your pet. The one thing I can tell you from experience is, getting a little personal here with my husband, especially since, as most of you know, he had a head injury about 6 months ago, pretty severely. He's not the same. And we have created this cord that, and I've cut a cord from him, years ago, and it came back. I allowed it to, and that's another thing with cords. They will come back. You have to watch yourself. But the thing is with this, what can happen, even these beautiful cords with somebody who your soulmates, you love each other, everything is amazing. It can affect you. So again, 6 months ago, my husband had a traumatic head injury. He's never been the same since. He has memory issues or all kinds of things going on there. The thing about this cord is we're affecting each other. My memory is affected. I actually can tell, and I actually thought, shit, we got a cord, we're going to have to cut this because it's not healthy right now. Because not only is he affecting me, but I'm affecting him. And we really noticed it when, I've got hip issues, he's got, different issues, knee issues. So when he's like, oh my God, my right, SI joint's bothering me. And I'm like, that's me. Or I'm like, oh my God, why is my left knee bothering me? And he's like, that's me. it's because of this cord. You can't tell what's you and what's not. Just like my memory, I'm having issues with my short-term memory, and I shouldn't be, but he is. He is having problems with his mind being too chaotic and overburdened. That's me, because I've got so much on my plate right now. So this is how you look at, yes, it's beautiful that we have the connection, but we don't need a cord to connect, right? So this is something that I am going to cut. And this happens with so much, with mothers. Daughters and mothers is a huge thing where it is a beautiful connection, but no, you don't need to have that. You can connect without. This is how the mothers can see from, eyes in the back of their heads and different things. It's because there's this connection, this energy. You're reading the energy. So there's so much more there, and I'm going to try to cut it down because I'm going way far here. How you cut a cord. Now this, Diana gave me this, she sent this. This is beautiful, selenite. Selenite's beautiful for this. But you can take a knife, selenite, cauterize. Cautery with Palo Santo is very good. All kinds of things, sage, different things you can do, Florida water. When you find that cord, that energetic cord, okay, I'll do it here. So say you got an energetic cord here. And, the first thing you want to do is feel, who is this connected to? And of course, the best, it doesn't matter if it's connected to someone who is, incarnate of, I don't know, the worst person ever. It doesn't matter. You still say that, I love you, I respect you, but this is not healthy, and we are going to send this back. And the thing is maybe that's kind of asinine to say, because I love you, I respect you. Okay, so not even about the person, but about the energy. Okay, you can say, you don't even have to say I love you, but it's, if you can do, be like, I respect you, but this isn't healthy, and I send this energy back to you with all the love that I can muster. It is gone. It is not for me. And as long as you have that intention, then you can start. And, a lot of times I start with going all the way around. So whatever it is, say it's this big and it's right here, then I start and I will go, if possible, on the skin, and I will start all around the edges, cutting it away. And I talk to my client the whole time about what's going on. I ask if they're ready. Sometimes it takes a long time, and there's different methods. Sometimes I got to spray Florida water. Sometimes I got to cauterize with fire, which is really using smoke, Palo Santo, sage, what have you. And sometimes it's rubbing. Sometimes I actually take and rub through. And so I have a double terminated quartz too that I'll use to not only do the psychic stitching type of thing, but to remove. But these knives work amazing. And it also works to cleanse the skin, to remove, from the skin. So you do that, and the whole time you're doing it, your intention is to remove, right? So and cut that off, send that energy back, send whatever cord back to whoever. And it doesn't matter who created it, whether it was the person you're working on or someone else. And then what you do is, you feel, once you cut that and let your, client or person know, or yourself know, that it can feel, the other person can feel it. They might feel that there's a disconnect. There's a lot that can happen there. But make sure when you're done to cauterize. I cauterize with, again, smoke, Palo Santo. Don't actually burn the person. And Florida water. And then you can psychically stitch this. But also make sure to take and re-energize this area of their aura. You're wanting to smooth this. So, I re-energize that, they're taking energy from the universe or Mother Earth or whomever. Make sure you re-energize that area that you just cut the cord. And then take and smooth their aura. Make sure that everything is just beautiful and smooth. And that's really a little mini intro to how to do the cord cutting. And cord cutting can be very difficult, like I said. I mean, there are times you can do it yourself, even as a healer. I actually am going to reach out for some help, I'm sure, with a cord with my husband, because I have allowed it to be there for about 6 months. And it can take some time, and it can also be difficult for the person who has that connection to cut that. But just know that there are no cords that are healthy. You should have your own energy to yourself. You can meld, just like my husband and I are so much like this, but it's our own melding. It's not the in-between, right? So I hope that helps you, and I apologize for how long this video is. Much love to everybody. And as always, reach out if you ever have any questions.